I don't owe you honesty. We're just dating, she said when I found the messages, so I never spoke to her again. Now she's a single mom begging me to talk. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. I never thought I'd be the guy writing one of these posts. I always figured people who got blindsided like this missed some red flags or were naive. I was neither. I was just committed and stupidly loyal. My name's Kai. I'm 28, software engineer, nothing flashy. I don't pop bottles, I don't have six-pack abs, and I don't post thirst traps on Instagram. But I take care of people. I show up when I say I will. I listen. I remember the names of your coworkers you hate. I'm that guy? And for about 10 months, I was with a woman named Saren. Saren was magnetic. Not model hot or anything, but she had this confidence and humor that pulled people in. She worked in marketing, always had some new story about office drama or her terrible commute. We met through friends, clicked over shared sarcasm, and ended up seeing each other regularly almost immediately. I took things slow at first. Saren was a little hard to read emotionally, but I figured that was just her being independent. She liked to joke about not catching feelings, but she'd say it while curled up against me on the couch or half asleep in my hoodie. She had keys to my place by month 4, left a toothbrush, had her own drawer, cooked in my kitchen like it was hers. I did things for her I didn't do for anyone else. Picked her up from work when her car broke down. Helped her study for this awful analytics certification. Bought her groceries when rent ran tight. I even lent her my car once for a whole weekend so she could visit a friend out of state. I thought we were building something. She never said, "I love you," but I didn't push. I thought people just moved at their own pace. The first sign something was off was small. She started spending more time on her phone, laughing at messages she never shared. She'd tilt the screen away from me when she texted. At first, I told myself not to be paranoid. I trusted her. If she wanted to tell me, she would. But then came the night everything fell apart. It was a Thursday night. Saren came over late, said she was tired and wanted to crash early. She tossed her bag on the floor, plugged in her phone on my nightstand, and flopped into bed. I stayed up a little longer. I had some emails to finish for a morning deadline. When I finally came to bed, her phone lit up next to mine. I didn't touch it. I swear I didn't. But the preview was just right there. Bright screen. Her lock screen photo was of us at the fall festival. But the message? Daniel, next time don't hold back. You've still got my hoodie, by the way, winky face. My chest locked up. I didn't even recognize the name. I stared at it for a minute, then looked at Saren. She was out cold, mouth half open, blanket barely covering her. And I just sat there, frozen. I didn't sleep. The next morning, while she was brushing her teeth, I picked up her phone. I wasn't proud of it, but something had snapped. And what I saw confirmed every pit in my stomach from the last 2 months. Flirty messages, long texts, photos, not explicit, but intimate. Inside jokes, talk about missing what we had, plans to meet again, and then confirmation that they had. It was her ex. Apparently, they'd just started talking again. Then it turned into a meetup just to catch up. Then one drink. Then, well, the rest was clear. I put the phone down face up on the bed. She came back into the room and saw it immediately. Why are you going through my phone? Not shocked, not scared, just irritated, like I'd used her toothbrush or parked in her spot. I didn't. Your screen lit up. Who's Daniel? She stared at me for a second, toothbrush still in her hand. Are we seriously doing this right now? You said you weren't talking to him anymore. Kai, come on. Don't be dramatic. You slept with him? She didn't answer. Just rolled her eyes, went back to the bathroom. Spit. Rinsed. Walked out with the same tone she used when she forgot to buy oat milk. Look, I don't owe you honesty. We're just dating. I swear to God, those were her exact words. Flat. Like she was telling me I left the light on in the kitchen. 10 months? You've practically lived here. We're not married. Stop acting like I signed a contract. Something in me went cold. Not anger. Not sadness. Just emptiness. I stood up, picked up her bag, dropped it near the door. You should go. She looked at me like I was being ridiculous. Seriously? Yeah. You're gonna throw this away because of some texts? No, I said. You already did. She didn't even try to fight it. Just huffed, grabbed her things, and left. No apology. No second glance. And that's when I decided I wouldn't be another one of her fallback options. Not now. Not ever. The weirdest part about betrayal isn't the pain. It's the silence that follows. After Saren left, I didn't cry. I didn't throw anything. I didn't even sit down. I just stood there in the middle of my room, staring at the door like she might walk back in and say, "Just kidding." She never did. I didn't call her. Didn't send a single text. I could have gone off, told her what a selfish, manipulative person she'd been. Instead, I deleted the photos, cleared her from my favorites, and turned off read receipts. That was it. The next few weeks felt like walking through static. Everything reminded me of her. The boba place near my apartment. The hoodie she forgot in my closet. The podcast I couldn't listen to anymore because her laugh always cut in when we'd play it on long drives. My sister Aria came over a few days later. She brought homemade dumplings and didn't ask questions at first. But eventually, she said, "So, what happened to Saren? She's gone. You okay?" "Not really. But I will be." I meant it. Even if I didn't believe it yet. I started filling the time. Went back to the gym, even though everything was sore for a week. Picked up a freelance side project for some extra income. Reconnected with friends I drifted from while I was busy being available for someone who wasn't. Turns out, when you stop chasing people who don't value you, you suddenly have all this time and energy to spend on yourself. I even booked a short solo trip to the mountains. First time I'd traveled alone. No one to plan around. No one to impress. Just me, a book, and some overpriced hot chocolate. And in all that quiet, I started realizing how much I gave to someone who never really showed up for me. Saren didn't betray me once. She did it in 100 little ways long before that message ever popped up. Like how she never said thank you when I picked her up from the airport. Or how she always interrupted me mid-sentence with a story about herself. Or how she'd talk about her ex like she was so over it, but still followed his Spotify playlists and liked his thirst traps. I wasn't angry at her. I was angry at me for accepting it as normal. But something shifted in me after that. I stopped waiting for closure. Because I already had it. She said it herself. "I don't owe you honesty." And she was right. She didn't owe it. But I didn't owe her anything after that either. 5 months passed. I hadn't heard a word from Saren. No texts, no calls, not even a half-baked apology. I figured she'd moved on. Probably doing the same thing to some other guy who didn't see it coming. Then one night, I got a DM from a girl named Kala, a mutual acquaintance, someone from Saren's old friend group I barely knew. We'd met maybe twice. "Kala, hey, random question, are you still in touch with Saren?" I replied, "Me? No. Why?" She waited a few minutes, then sent a wall of text. Apparently, Saren was pregnant. Not with Daniel's baby. Not even close. She kept seeing Daniel after our breakup, but he'd ghosted her 3 weeks later. She tried rekindling something with an old fling named Nico, a guy she swore was just a friend back when we were together. That didn't last either. The baby? Kala said it was from some guy she hooked up with once. Didn't even know his last name until she tracked him down on LinkedIn. He made it clear he wasn't interested in being involved. Now she was nearly 6 months along, living back in her mom's house, trying to make ends meet working part-time at a cafe. The marketing firm she worked at had let her go after repeated no-shows. "She's not doing well," Kala said. Honestly, it's been kind of sad to watch. I didn't respond. Not because I didn't care. Because I didn't feel anything. I checked her Instagram once after that curiosity, not interest. It was all vague captions and forced positivity. "Sometimes we outgrow people for a reason, Crescent Moon. My peace is non-negotiable, Dizzy. God gives his hardest battles to his strongest warriors. Flexed biceps sparkles." I saw one photo where she was clearly trying to hide her baby bump with a tote bag. She looked tired. Pale. Not glowing, drained. Then came the real surprise. She messaged me. Just a short one. "Saren, hey. Hope you're doing okay." I stared at the screen for a while. Not angry. Not smug. Just still. I didn't reply. She waited 2 days and sent another. "Saren, I've been thinking about you lately. I know I messed up, but I was hoping maybe we could talk sometime." Still, I said nothing. She tried again the next week. Left a voicemail this time. Her voice sounded thin, tired, like someone who hadn't slept well in months. "Hey, it's me. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. For everything. I thought I knew what I wanted, but I didn't. I wasn't fair to you. I get that now. I could really use someone who understands me. Please call me back." I didn't. Not out of pettiness. Not out of revenge. I just wasn't that guy anymore. I wasn't her emergency contact. I wasn't the fallback plan. I wasn't available. Because I had built a life without her in it. And I liked it better that way. After that voicemail, I thought she might finally get the message. She didn't. 2 days later, I got a long paragraph through Instagram DMs. Saren, look, I know I don't deserve a response. But I just need you to know I didn't mean to hurt you. I wasn't in a good place back then. I pushed people away. You were always good to me, and I didn't see it until I lost it. I miss the way you made me feel safe. If there's any part of you that still remembers what we had, please, just talk to me. I left it on scene. She followed up with a second message a few hours later. So you're seriously not even going to acknowledge me? After everything? That one I didn't even open. The next night, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I let it go to voicemail. Same soft voice, same worn-out tone. I heard from Kala that you know. I'm not asking for anything. I could really use a friend right now. I'm scared, Kai. I wish I could take everything back. And still, I said nothing. Then she had one of her old friends text me. Jax, a guy I never liked, who used to hit on her when I wasn't around. Jax, hey man. I don't mean to get in your business, but Saren's going through a lot. Maybe just hear her out. I responded once. Me. She went through me. That was enough. He didn't text again. A few days later, I got the last message that would ever come from her account. This time, she wasn't pretending to be soft or sorry. Saren, you know what? You're not better than me. You act so calm and mature, but you're just emotionally unavailable like every other guy. I only reached out because I thought maybe you were different. But clearly, I was wrong. Don't worry, you won't hear from me again. Good. Because I'd finally heard the truth. She didn't want me. She wanted what I represented. A place to land when the walls were caving in. Stability after chaos. A safe harbor she abandoned when the weather was clear, only to come crawling back once the storm hit. But I wasn't her harbor anymore. I wasn't her anything. A month later, I ran into her by accident. It was at a mutual friend's engagement party. I almost didn't go, figured there'd be drama, or at least awkwardness. But the bride-to-be was an old friend of mine, and I wanted to be there. I didn't even know Saren would show up. But when I walked in, there she was, standing near the drink table, wearing a loose-fitting black dress and talking to someone with that forced social smile people wear when they're trying too hard to appear fine. She saw me across the room and froze. I was clean-shaven, wearing a navy button-down, and with someone, Lena, a girl I'd been seeing for the past few months. Funny, kind, straightforward. The kind of woman who texts back when she says she will and doesn't play mind games. Lena squeezed my hand and said, "You okay?" "Yeah," I said. "Just someone I used to know." Later in the night, Saren cornered me while Lena was in the restroom. Her tone was polite, distant, almost performative. "Hi, Kai." "Saren. So, you look good." "Thanks." She glanced around, lowered her voice. "She's cute. Your date." "She's more than that." "That's good," she said quickly. "I'm happy for you." I didn't say anything. She shifted her weight, eyes flicking to the floor. "I wasn't lying in those messages, you know. I really did miss you." "I know," I said calmly. "But you didn't miss me. You missed what I was willing to give." "That's not fair, it's honest." She went quiet. "You told me once," I said, "that you didn't owe me honesty. And maybe you were right. But now, I don't owe you closure. I don't owe you comfort. And I definitely don't owe you space in my life. You're not even going to try to understand where I was back then? No. Because back then, you made it clear I didn't matter. And now, you don't." Her expression cracked, just for a second. I saw it. The flash of regret behind her practiced composure. "You don't hate me?" "No," I said. "I just don't think about you at all." Then I walked away. Lena was waiting by the patio door, smiling, holding 2 glasses of champagne. "Everything okay?" "Yeah, just taking out the trash." We clinked glasses. Saren didn't stay much longer after that. I heard through the grapevine she had the baby. The dad didn't show up. She moved cities. Deleted most of her socials. No one really hears from her anymore. As for me, I'm not angry. I'm not bitter. I don't wish her ill. But I'll never forget what she taught me. Some people only love you when it's convenient. When you're safe. When you're easy to use and easier to lose. But once you learn to love yourself more than their chaos, they can't touch you. Not anymore. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments. Personally, I really felt for Kai. He didn't do anything wrong and still got treated like he was nothing. That "I don't owe you honesty" line actually made me mad. She clearly never cared the way he did. But the way he just went quiet and walked away? Honestly, I respect that. He kept his dignity while her life completely fell apart. She only came back when everything else blew up, and he still didn't take the bait. He did the right thing. Let her deal with the mess she made.